Hello guys, what is up? It's Zebrafy here coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be looking at ping optimizations, in-depth ping optimizations that will lower your ping or make your ping more stable if you're getting ping spikes and stuff like that. So real quickly before we start, make sure to like and subscribe if this video helps you out in any way. And yeah, let's just hop right into it. So first, what you're going to want to do is download the pack in the description like I have right here. So once you have the pack, you're going to want to open it up, and then you should have this. So first thing we're going to want to do, we're going to want to head into the ping tweaks. So before we do any of this, you're going to want to create a restore point. I don't know why you wouldn't do this. If your computer should have one by default, but we're just going to make sure of that. So search up create a restore point. Here, I did that a little fast. Create a restore point in the bottom left. Click on that, and once you've got that open, it should say something about system properties. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on your main drive, your C drive. Most likely it will be your C drive. You're going to want to click this, and you're going to want to see, if you don't see protection on, you're going to want to click create, and now it should say create a restore point. Now just name it whatever you want, click create, and then we're good. Once you do that, that will make sure that if anything goes wrong in here, you can just revert it so you won't have any issues, which is always good to have. So second, we're going to want to do a full network reset. If you need to know how to do that, you can click on this or just follow my guide, because I'm going to show you how to do it real quick. So how we're going to do this is we're going to go to settings. And real quick before we do this, I just want to mention this is optional. I recommend it because it won't make anything go wrong with your PC. It actually will. If something's already going wrong, it could actually fix it. Otherwise, it's just okay. It's like a nice healthy thing to do to make sure your PC is running, your internet is running optimal. So we're going to go into settings, then we're going to head into network and internet. Once we're in network and internet, we're going to want to be under status. And once we're in status, we're going to want to scroll down until we see network reset. So you're gonna click on network reset. You can just read this. It'll basically, all it does is just reset your network adapters so that all the settings are back to the default, and it won't do anything. If you think that this is doing something wrong to your PC, it's not. It literally just resets it to the default settings so that we can do these tweaks. So you'll click reset now, and then it'll basically ask you to confirm, and then you can restart your and then it'll restart your PC, and boom, you're done. Then we can head on to the next steps. So come back when you're done with that. Okay, so now we're gonna want to disable our network power saving settings. So how we do that is we're gonna go into control panel, as seen here, control panel. You can just search in the bottom left, and we're gonna want to head into network and internet. Then we're going to want to head into network and sharing center. So I have network and sharing center pulled up here. So you're going to want to click on your main thing. If you use Wi-Fi or Ethernet, it'll say, and it'll be highlighting in blue here. So you're going to want to click on that, and it'll pull up your status. So you want to click properties, and you want to click configure. Then you want to hit power management, and make sure any boxes here are unchecked, because it'll just make sure that your Wi-Fi or your Wi-Fi or Ethernet, whichever one you use, is running to the full extent at all times, so that it will not be held back by anything. So now what we want to do is, since we're here, we can just go on with these next steps in the same category. So we're going to want to click properties again if you're not still in there. And then you're going to have this huge list of stuff. The only one that you need checked here, unless you know that something else here is important that you need, is Internet Protocol version 4. You can uncheck every other box, and this will actually slightly reduce your ping. So make sure everything is unchecked. You do not want this Protocol version 6. You do not want that checked. So make sure that is unchecked. Make sure everything else is unchecked. It'll make a slight difference. Believe it or not, like, it may not be a huge difference, but it will help you out. I'm guessing you're here because your ping is high, and you want it to be lower. So I would recommend just having Internet Protocol version 4 checked. So after that, we're gonna head back into this folder, and we're gonna just run these files as administrator. So right click, run clear DNS cache as administrator, and this will pull up. You can just hit enter. Disable extra settings, you can run this as administrator, just hit enter. Run this one as administrator as well. It'll go through a bunch of stuff and just make sure that these settings are all disabled and that they're all set to the right values, and then it'll just close itself. Now we can, this tweak is actually from AdamX, so credit to him. I'm using his tweak. Yup, I did give you credit, AdamX, you're welcome. Alright, so we're gonna run this, yes, okay. Run this, yes, okay. Run this, yes, okay. This is just a couple extra things, extra settings that will be disabled that you do not actually need on. And this will just make sure that your network priorities are as high as possible so that there's no interruptions and you're getting the fastest speeds and the lowest packet loss possible. So now we're gonna head into the registry editor. So how you get there is you are gonna type in registry, just like this. You're gonna type in this, and then you'll find this little, it's got like the blue cubes icon. You're gonna click that, and you're gonna open that up, and it should be something like this. So I'm gonna full screen it. Okay, so in here we're gonna open up HKey local machine as so, then we're gonna open up system, then we're gonna open up current control set. Once we have current control set open, we're gonna open up control. Once we open up control, you're gonna want to scroll down just a little bit until you see class. Now once you find class, you're gonna want to open this up, and it's just gonna be a ton of random numbers and letters combined that you don't know what any of this is probably, because I don't even know what it is either. But there's a way that we can figure out where we need to be in here. So it's not gonna be the same for you as it is for me most likely, so I'm gonna guide you through it. So you're going to want to open up the control panel again. You're going to want to go into network and internet. Then you're going to want to go into network and sharing center. Now once you're in network and sharing center, you're going to want to do the same thing as before. You're going to want to open up the blue highlighted part. And now we're going to select properties. We're going to hit configure. Then we're going to go to details. Now you want to open up this drop down menu, and you want to find class. No, not class. You want to find class guide. Yeah, you want to find class guide or class guide, whatever that is. Now you want to right click and copy this, as so. And also, just as a disclaimer, yours might not be the exact same name. It might not say class guide, but there will be one in here that will lead to this, that should be something like this. Like the same, it should say value, and then it should have some information like this. Then you'll just right click, copy, hit OK, close, and we can X out of this. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do with that is you're going to want to click on class, make sure it's highlighted in blue, then you're going to want to put a backslash down, and then it should pull up all this stuff. Then you're going to want to paste in the value and click enter. Now it'll bring you exactly to where we need to be. So this is perfect now because we don't need to do any more searching. We are in the right spot, so we know we need to be here. So now it's going to have all these numbers, 1 to 12, or 0 to 12. And you're going to want to drop these down until you find one that will go NDI, and then it'll have params. So you want to, they'll all have, most of them will have NDI, so you just want to keep dropping down and looking until you find params. Once you find params, that's where you need to be. So like this one also has params, but it's not going to be this one. We can actually go into that later, but that's not what we need. We need to find interfaces and params and ProSet NDI. Then we'll open up params and it'll have all of this stuff in it. So once we find all this stuff, this is all of your internet adapter settings. So first off, in here, we're going to want to go to number of RSS queues, we're going to want to click enum. So I already have done this, but what you want to do is if you don't have 4 as an option, if you do not have 4 as an option, you're going to want to right click. Well, actually, if you have anything more than 4, you also don't need to do this, but if you have less than 4, you should do this. So you want to right click, new, string value, and you want to type name 4, and then since I already have this thing exists, it won't let me do that, but basically once you do that, you want to click modify, and then value data, you will type 4Qs. Just make sure it's spelled as so. Make sure it's spelled the right way, otherwise this will most likely not work for you. So that's all you need to do, and then you will have it should say 4 reg sc 4Qs. And now we are good with this. I'll explain this more later, what this did. So now we can go out of that. Now we want to keep scrolling down again until we find receive buffers. Now once we find receive buffers, you're going to want to find min. So min, you're going to want to right click, modify, type in value data, set it to 8. Then click OK. Now that's literally all you need to change within this part. Just make sure min is set to 8. Do not change anything else in here, otherwise it could mess it up and your internet could stop working. So now we want to find, the last thing we want to find is transmit buffers. So once we find transmit buffers, you want to do the same exact thing. You want to find min, right click, modify, value data, you want to set to 8, then click OK. So now we're completely done within the registry. Once you have done those 3 tweaks, you can actually exit this out, and we will be back in the folder. So after the registries, we did that for a reason, so now we need to apply something that was associated with that. So you want to go back into control panel again. I'm sorry guys, I know this is the last time we're going to be in control panel. Then you want to head to network and internet, and you want to go to network and sharing center again. And once you're in there, you want to click on your thingy, the same as before that we've been through a lot of times now. And you want to go to properties, then you want to hit configure. Once we have configure, you want to go to advanced. Now these are all the important settings. This will make a difference. So copy what I have, and if you have something that I don't have, just don't change it. So adaptive interface streaming, we want to have disabled, enable PME disabled, energy efficient Ethernet off. By the way, if I'm like stuttering or if I'm like messing up my words, I'm just going through these fast as possible, so I'm sorry about that. Flow control disabled. Now you want to leave this setting to auto detect. Interrupt moderation disabled, moderation rate off. Anything that says offload, you want to make sure has disabled. Jumbo packet disabled, so these two will be disabled as well. Legacy switch compatible mode disabled. This you do not need to change. Disabled. Log link state event disabled. Now maximum number of RSS queues, this is what we changed. You're going to want to drop down, select 4 queues, and we're good. Packet priority in VLAN, packet priority in VLAN disabled. Disabled for this one. Also disabled for this one. Disabled. Receive buffers, now this is another thing we changed. You want to just highlight over this value, click 8, and then we can go to the next one. Receive side scaling, you want to have enabled. This doesn't make much of a huge difference. You could test it out and see if it makes any difference, disabled or enabled for you, but I have it enabled. Reduce speed on power down also doesn't matter too much, but I have mine disabled. Disabled. Speed and duplex, you want to drop this down. You want to find the highest number possible, so 1 gigabyte per second is higher than 100 megabytes per second. So if yours is 100 megabytes per second, if that's your highest, you want to select 100 megabytes per second full duplex. However, if you have 1 gigabyte per second, you want to select 1 gigabyte per second full duplex, as I have selected. And that's the fastest possible, so that's good speed. Now, system idle power saver disabled. Disabled, disabled. Transmit buffer is the other thing we changed. Highlight over this, press 8, and then we're good. Now you want to go on, have these two disabled as well. Ultra low power mode, definitely have that disabled. Wait for link off, and then these the last 3 you want to have disabled. So just another thing, I know I already said this, but I'm saying it again. If you have a setting that I don't have, do not worry about it, don't change it. And if I have a setting that you do not have, don't worry, there's nothing wrong with your computer, it's just a different type of adapter. So you not having the same settings as me is not an issue, that's okay. So now that we're done with that, we can go ahead and okay this. We can close this, exit this out. Now you want to go into the ping applications. These are just going to be a few things that help speed up the internet and make sure it's running optimally. So you're going to want to run adware cleaner. So it'll open this up. You're going to want to hit scan now, and it'll just do a really quick scan. I'll just let it run through so you guys can see what it looks like. It'll just scan a few things and make sure that there's no adware on your computer that's slowing it down. So I had no items detected. So if you have no items detected, click skip basic repair. But if it detects something, run basic repair. So I'm just gonna skip it. But if you have some issues, you should scan it, or you should do basic repair. Even if you don't, even if it doesn't detect anything, you could still run basic repair. It won't hurt your PC. So now we have this I have this optimizer application called TCP Optimizer. This is a very helpful application that I have not really seen anyone go in depth with. So I'm here to do that for you guys. To help you guys optimize. So we're gonna right click, run as administrator. If you do not run as administrator, this application will not work. So if it's not working, make sure you're running it as administrator. So now you want to find your network adapter. You want to drop it down if you're using Ethernet or wireless. I'm using Ethernet, so I'm going to select Ethernet. Now you want to make sure modify all adapters is checked. Now you want to find your connection speed. You want to drag this bar all the way to the right, as far possible to the right. As far as possible to the right. So that will just make sure that your maximum speed is as high as possible, which is good. So now you want to select custom at the bottom right. Now you're just going to want to copy the settings I have. So auto tuning, you want to have disabled, CTCP, enabled, disabled, time to live, just leave that on the default. Disabled, 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 disabled. Now we're going to go to the advanced settings tab that's seen at the top. Now in here, you can leave these to the default. Now this QoS best effort limit, I'd put it to 0. Now QoS do not use NLA, set that to optimal. 1. Local priority, don't change any of these, make sure these are the same. Now network throttling, you want this disabled. System responsiveness, gaming, 0 is what you want to select. Now the TCP ACK frequency, disabled, disabled, disabled. Large system cache, enabled 1. Now size, optimized 3. Max in, you can leave these to 2 or default. Disabled. Now, don't mess with these, do not change these at all. If you change these, it'll mess something up, so do not do that. Now you want to go to BDP, there's nothing you can change here, and MTU/latency, there's nothing you can change here, so now we're good. Now you want to click apply changes, and it'll apply all of these changes after you reset your PC. So, if anything goes wrong after you change these, you can just click Windows default and it'll reset everything to default. Or if you do not want to copy mine, you just want it to be optimal, you can hit optimal. Mine are just custom and what I prefer. So optimal and my customs would be what I recommend. But if you have issues, switch it to default. Then you can apply changes and then you can exit out. After you apply the changes, you'll have to restart your PC. And now the last tweak that I'm going to be mentioning in this video again is time resolution. So you're going to want to extract this file, right click, extract here. You're going to want to extract it, and then once you open it up, it'll just look like this. So when you're playing a game, you want to click maximum, and you can see it'll lower your current resolution, and your maximum resolution will be the maximum you can get. And once you're done with it, once you're done playing your game, you can just click default and exit out. So anyway guys, that has been all my tips for today's video. If you want to see more tutorials like this in the future on how to fix FPS stutters, FPS drops, FPS spikes, if you want to fix ping spikes, if you want another video like this with more in-depth guides, or if you want me to show you how to lower input delay, etc., make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can stay updated with me when I'm uploading a new video. And also, if you enjoyed this, make sure to like it, and sharing it would help. Sharing it with a friend would also help out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And it's been Zerify. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and if you have any questions in the comments, let me know. Peace, guys.